Hello everyone and welcome back to another numismatic history video. In today's video we're going to be looking at one of my favorite numismatic websites called Numista. So let's get into it. Alright, so let's jump right in. So this website is probably one of, if not my most used website when I am needing to look up things for coin collecting and numismatics and things like that. Basically, Numista is kind of like a big online database of a bunch of coin information, and it's pretty cool. So I'm going to kind of go over the website and share a lot of cool details and things that you can do with the website. So to start, this is just our kind of our home page here. And as you can see, we have, this is kind of cool, some items at random. So maybe if you're new to coin collecting or things like that, you could come here. And if you want to learn about some random coin, you can do that. Numista is a website for all kinds of numismatics as well. So if you collect bills, like banknotes, or kinds of exonumia, which is like tokens and things like that, and then as well as coins and rounds and things like that, all would be found on Numista, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I really like this items at random feature. Now, the biggest tool that I use on Numista is the numismatic catalog. So this is the catalog of all of the different things in Numista. And as you can see, there's a lot of different things. As you can see here, here's all the varieties and types of things that you can find on Numista. And you can sort by in a lot of different ways and add a lot of cool filters. So let's say, for example, so we'll pick an issuer here. So maybe I want a coin from, let's see, Algeria here. So I do Algeria and I want it to be a coin. And let's say I want it to be a standard circulation coin, and I don't want tokens or metals or banknotes or paper exonumia. And I can add other filters too. I could say the ruling authority, we'll say the People's Democratic Republic. Maybe we'll set the composition. Maybe we want to look for copper. We're looking for specifically Algerian copper coins. Then I can do this, and then there's also this down here. We'll get into this later with the collection, but I'm going to select it as both for now, in and out, and let's see what comes up. So it looks like nothing, but maybe Algeria at that time has no copper coins. So we'll get rid of copper, and we'll see from here what happens. There you go. So they just didn't have any copper. So in here, this pulls up all of the Algerian coins, specifically standard circulation coins, from the ruling authority of the People's Democratic Republic. And you can go super, like I was showing you, there's a ton of different filters you can add. You can add year, lettering, composition, size, weight, all of these things to do a really, really detailed search of a coin. So maybe even like I remember one time I was coming in here and I was thinking of a United States coin and I couldn't remember the year of it, but I could remember what it was made of. And I could remember, well, I don't know, I think I could remember like a range of the date. And so I put in the range and the composition, and then I was able to find it, which is super cool. So that's probably the most helpful thing that I have. And then say, for example, like this one centime here from Algeria was the one that we were looking for. Then we could click on that, and it brings us to the page for that specific coin. And these pages have a lot of details too, depending on how much has been put in. The cool thing about Numista is it's kind of like a public catalog, but it is maintained by people who have knowledge of these types of things. And so anybody, you can see up here, there's this little like paintbrush pen thing. So you can modify the data on the page. So like if I were to click on that, I could edit this page for this coin, which is pretty cool. And then basically what would happen is after I edit it, it would go to be reviewed by other people so that way not anybody can just come in randomly and mess with stuff if it's not supposed to be messed with. But it's kind of cool because this is kind of like a big collection of a hundreds of thousands of people and their knowledge of coins. And so if we were to scroll down here, this is kind of cool. We can see all of the information on the coin that's been put in here. We can see the obverse, what it shows, and we can see pictures of the coin. And even translations of what the different text means if you're a world coin collector and you collect coins from different countries like I do. So you can see all the lettering, and like translation for years is really helpful, especially if you're not able to read the numbers. It'll also tell you the mint that the coin was minted at, or mints if there were multiple. So like say for example we were on the United States penny page for the zinc pennies, zinc shield cents we'll say. Then it would say like Philly, Denver, San Francisco, and probably West Point as well. And then here you can see it'll have down here for collection, you can put in all of your coins in your collection and add them into a big thing, which I'll show you my collection in a moment. But for this coin, since it's only 1 year and it was only minted for 1 year, there's only one date here, as you can see, this 1383 1964. So this is showing it's using a different calendar in Algeria at the time, and this is the Gregorian calendar, the 1964. And then it will tell you the mintage, and then it will also tell you for each grade how much the book value basically is, of how much it would be worth. So if I had an uncirculated condition one, it would be around 71 cents. And of course, these prices you gotta take with a grain of salt. Same with anything, like if you're using Redbook or things like that. They're not all gonna be accurate most of the time. So you want to look at sold listings. That's probably the best way to value your coins. But for example, say I were to click this, I'm not going to add this to my collection because I don't have it, but I could add it to my collection, and it has all these things and specifiers. Say I had one and I do this year, and maybe it was a good grade. I have 3 of them. You could put in the buying value. If you wanted to, you could put in a private comment. You could also put it for exchange, which I'll get into more later. And you could put in a public comment that other people can see when they're viewing your profile. You can also put in pictures of your coin if you want to onto the database. I know for non-premium members there's a limited amount of storage of how many pictures you can do, but I think that for premium it's an unlimited amount, which is pretty cool. I don't usually do this, but I might in the future start adding some pictures of my own. And then anyways, then you would click save, and then it would be added to your collection. So let me show you my collection here. So I'll show you up here. So I would click on my account, and that brings this little drop down, and then I'll click on my collection. And we can see here I have filters. There's a bunch of filters for different types of things if you'd like to filter out a specific thing. And then you can do for swap or not for swap, which I'll get into more later, because there's a cool swapping system on here. But anyways, you can see a lot of information of all of the coins I put in here. So I've put in, well, and other things, numismatics, I guess, because I have banknotes and other things in here as well. But I have 1,185 items in here in total, and then all these different amounts. It'll tell me countries and issuers, and an issuer would be like the Confederate States to the United States, right? So like I have a banknote from the Confederate States, and so instead of counting that as its own country, they count it as an issuer. And then if I wanted to, I could view my collection. So I click on this and I could pick a country to view that I have stuff from. They also have this awesome map. Like this is probably one of my favorite parts of the website, is this cool map that you can get. And basically what this map is this is a map, this is especially cool for world coin collectors because you can see where all your coins are from. So you can see here all of these countries that have color on them that are not grayed out, I have at least one coin from the country. And then you can see this little color gradient thing down here. And you can see it goes from 0 to 298 because 298 is my US coins, which is the highest that I have. And so the darker the color is, I guess you'd call it, or like the warmer the color maybe, the more coins from that country you have. And so that's kind of cool. You can see here all of this for items specifically. So this is how many in total, how many things you have from that country. I could also sort by types for this map. And then you see it changes slightly. A lot of, like, my US has still got the most types and items. But I just think this is so cool because then you can kind of visualize, like, where are countries that I don't have coins from, you know? So like I don't have one from Finland, I don't have one from the Central African Republic or the Democratic Republic of the Congo or no, I have Venezuela, Guyana, or things like that. So that's pretty cool. And then if we scroll down a little bit in our collection, we can see a lot more information. So this gets really in depth, which I love, because this would take so long to do if you tried to catalog your coins and record all of this data yourself. So you can see here, for any graded coins that you have, you can put in the grade of the coin, which most of my coins I don't have graded. But the ones that I do, I have here. And then these graded coins go into the value section here. So this value is taking the value of my graded coins. And so the estimated value of my graded coins, which is 3% of my items, is around $78. You can also see the total weight of your collection. So the total weight of all of the coins, at least the ones that I have recorded on Numista, is 5.05 kilograms, which you can also change the values to the imperial or the metric system. I just have it on kilograms and grams, which I just feel like it's easier because I have a scale that measures in grams, even though I am in the United States. And then I can also see my silver weight here and an estimated value of it. So recorded, I have 201 grams of silver, and that's worth about $218 roughly as an estimate. I can also see the top 10 compositions of all the coins and bills and everything in my collection. And again, I could filter this, and these details would all change based off of my filters as well. But you can see, like, I have 216 steel, 148 bronze, 42 stainless steel, things like that. I can also see the different types, the top 10 different types, which is mostly standard circulation coins for me. I can also see this records, which is pretty cool. So I can see the smallest thing that I have, which is this 10 ore. And I can see the largest thing that I have, which is this 10 Confederate dollars. And I can see the lightest and the heaviest, and the oldest and the newest, which is pretty fun. And then to go along with that oldest and newest too, you can see this years thing, which I think is awesome as well. The distribution bar graph of the years of the coins and bills and all kinds of numismatics that I have. And so you can see the oldest one that I have is 1864, and the newest one is 2024 that I have recorded at least. So it's pretty cool. You can see, like, here, this year, 2006, I have the most of for whatever reason, and then you can see other years as well. It's pretty cool. And you can see your history of when you added things and how much of things you have. There's also this really cool list here, this country list. And you can see all of the countries that Numista has that have coins or bills or anything that's numismatics that's been recorded on this website would be included in this list. And this includes a bunch of subsections. Like you can see, I'm just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. It just keeps going because there's so many countries and things like that. They even have fantasy places if you collect fantasy currency. So like Middle Earth, if you have currency from the Lord of the Rings or things like that. Micronation currency is all on here. Ancient and medieval, which I would love to start getting into some ancient and medieval coin collecting, but they have all of the different regions in here. And then states with limited recognition as well are down here at the bottom. But another cool thing with this list is if I go in here, I can show countries from which I don't have any items, or countries from which I have some. So if I do from which I don't have any, then as a world coin collector, this is really cool because I can see all the places that I still need to get coins from. So, like, I don't have coins from Mongolia. Maybe I need to, like, try to get some Mongolian coins, or from any of these places. So I use this tool very often, and I think it's amazing. I love it. And it saves me so much time, because if I wanted to do this myself, it would take me forever to get all the information written down. And I know it would take me forever because I've tried to do it before in the past. So this is seriously a huge, huge time saver and resource that I love to use. The next section that I wanted to go over is my swaps. So this is, we talked about this a little bit, but basically all of your coins on Numista, when you're adding them to your collection, you can put on it whether or not you want to have it be a coin that you're going to swap. And basically what that means is if you say, yes, I want to swap it, that means that you're willing to trade it for another coin with another person. So I have some coins that I have set that I'm going to swap. I've never actually done a swap on Numista, but I would love to. And so you can see I haven't started any swaps. But basically, if I go to the swaps tab here, you can see all the people that are looking to exchange things. So maybe I really want to exchange banknotes, and I really want to get a Albanian banknote. Then I'll search for that. And then it has this legend here of I don't own this, or I own it, or I own this year, which I don't have any Albanian ones. But anyways, what I would do is I would see, oh, this person has this 10, I'm not sure how you say that, lek bill. And so I'd click on the person. So here's this person. And you can see all their information. They have feedback, which this is how you leave feedback is whenever you do a swap with a person, then they have you leave feedback after. So this person's done many swaps before. They have 4 swaps on the road, which means they're swaps that haven't been confirmed that the people have received their thing yet, so they're probably just being shipped right now. And he has 4,000 items for swap. And then I can look down this legend and say, I know I was looking at some banknote, but say I pick this coin here. So this is the one that I want to swap. So I would ask to swap, and I've now created a swap page, and I could send them a message, and then basically from this point I can click on here to see their coins and banknotes to exchange, and I can pick out some that I would like. And then if they respond, then they can go in and they can pick ones from my swap list to swap. So it's pretty cool. And then basically it's nothing about paying money or anything. Like it's specifically you're not supposed to be buying and things like that. It's all about swapping with other people, trading coins. Like I have a ton of Russian coins. So maybe someone out there's looking for Russian coins, and so they might contact me and see that I have a bunch of Russian coins, and they might want to swap something that I want. But anyways, for this swaps tab, it's also pretty cool because you can search by member, you can search by rating. So if I did rating, then it would bring up all of the top rated people, so the people who have done the most swaps, so they are probably the most trustworthy people. I can also search by country. I can search by coins that interest me or coins that I have that interest the other person. I can search by distance, so distance away from my location, which I have set on my profile. And then seniority, which seniority is just how long they've been on the website. So like if I click that, you can see this did seniority from the most recent to the oldest. So this person's been on for 2 days, and they have some coins they want to swap. But anyways, I could click it again and it would load the opposite. This website's also pretty cool because it's got many languages. So up here, this website can be translated into all of these languages here. And then also coins have a bunch of other languages. Now the website can't be translated into all of those languages, but the coins have information translating from those languages. So that's pretty cool. Another section on this website is the outings section. Basically, in the outings, you can see all sorts of events. You can see here they have the different types of things. So fairs, expos, conferences, shops, markets, museums. And then you can search by location. You can sort by date. You can look in a specific date range, all these things. And then if you want, you can go to cool things like this Tilburg International Coin Fair. Maybe you live in the Netherlands and you really want to go to this coin fair. Or maybe you don't live in the Netherlands and you want to buy a ticket to go fly here and visit this coin fair. So that's pretty cool. There's tons and tons and tons of events in here that you can go and visit. So if you want to meet up with other coin collectors and things like that, that's a pretty cool way to do it. Another thing that I talked about earlier is my wishes. So I don't have specific wishes right now, but I can go in here and show you. Basically, I just have set all of the coins or banknotes that I'm missing because I like to collect variety. And then you can define your wishes. So you can see it says there's 3 ways to define your wishes: selecting a type of collection, individually selecting coins or banknotes, and defining the criteria. So I can say here, maybe I just collect coins. Then I could just uncheck all of these, and then people would know that I only want coins. And then I can, if I were down here, if I was on a specific coin page, I could click on the coin and add it to my wish list. And then people who are trying to swap with me could see that I specifically want that coin. And then I can also add other criteria. So you can see in this step 3 here, specify criteria. So maybe for my coins, I only want uncirculated coins. So I could click on this add criterion and I could say I only want uncirculated quality coins or something like that. So that's pretty cool. That helps with your swaps. All right, so here is a profile. I'm not going to show you mine because it's got some personal information and I don't want to end up doxing myself or things like that. But I wanted to show you what a profile looks like, and this is similar to what your profile would look like as well. Your profile would have more information about your specific collection than this can show, but it will show you the place that you're from, or in this case where this other person's from. You can add languages that you speak. So if you speak more than one language, or even if you just speak one language, I guess, like I just have English listed. But if you speak more than one language, you can add them all, and then that can help since this is a globally used website. You can see when the person joined, or if it's for your profile, you can see when you joined. And you can see when they last were active. So this person less than a week ago, they were active. And then there's other details here of like forum posts, catalog contributions. So like if you added a coin that wasn't in the Numista catalog yet to the collection, then you could see that. You can have people send you a private message, which would show up in this messages section here. And then people can comment about you as well. I also just moved here, I moved to my settings, and you can see in here there's all sorts of settings that you can add. You can add your languages that you speak, you can add coins, what you collect, and what you want to get from other people for swaps. You can add your social media, and then down here this public localization of data. Anyways, how this works is basically if there's people near you that have accounts on Numista and they've put where they live in, like what city they live in and their zip code, then they'll appear on the map as well. And then you can click on people that are near you. This isn't working the way I wanted it to, but I also don't want to do it right where I'm at, which I know I have used this to see other people near me, but I'm not going to show you. Another super cool part of this website is the forum. So this, you can see the forum tab here. This is the forum tab. Basically, if you have questions or if you're very knowledgeable in coins and you think you can answer people's questions, you can come here, which is super cool, and you can get help or you can help people out. So this is separated into a few sections. You can see coins, banknotes, exonumia, and then general. So general is like website based and things like that. And then each subsection has its own thing. So for coins, banknotes, and exonumia, it's the same 4 things basically. So you have coin information and questions, identifications and valuations, coin swaps, and then the Numista coin catalog, or banknote or exonumia or whatever. So if you were to go to coin informations and questions, you can see here it brings up this with all of these postings from people who had questions about coins or needed more information about coins. And then, for example, I could click on, like this says 1796 Morgan USD dollar. So if I click on that, then they would say, hey, they're wondering if it's a fake, basically, in this situation. And they post pictures, and then anybody on the platform can respond and try to answer your question, which is pretty cool. And if you want, you can reply, you can upvote, you can hit this bell to get notifications about this. So that's information and questions for all of them. There's also identifications and valuations. So if I were to click on that one, basically, so like this person says they need help identifying early silver coin. So we click on that, and then they bring it up, and there's a picture here. They say they can't find it online and they could use some help. And then if we scroll down, this person has a suggestion of what it might be. And there's no guarantee that it will be answered or people will be able to identify it, but you can do that. And then also the same goes for valuations. If you have a coin that you're wondering how much it's worth, you can post in here and say, hey, how much do you guys think this coin is worth? There's also coin swaps. So again, this is just another way to get it out there that you want a specific coin. And then you can also do the Numista coin catalog, so you can modify things about the catalog itself. And then those 4 categories are the same for banknotes and exonumia. And then for general, there's information about the Numista website that you can do things. So you can ask questions about the website, you can ask suggestions, or do bug reports. So if you find some sort of bug on the website, you can post it in here and then it can be fixed. There's free discussion if you want to just talk to people. And then there's the most popular coin contest, so you can vote for the most popular coin on Numista. So if you have a coin that you'd like to do, you can do that. Another section that is really, really cool, this is a really new section, so I haven't really done much with it yet, but I think this is going to be super useful later on, and I look forward to using it, is this numismatic literature section. So basically, it's the same kind of catalog for the coins, but it's all coin books. So books about numismatics. And so right now they're all being added, and right now there's 3,730 books and periodicals. So those, and that number will continue to grow as we know. But basically, I can set here different filters. So I can say maybe I want a book specifically, and I could put in an author, a publisher, things like that. You can also search by a specific coin and try to find a book about that coin. So, for example, maybe you were looking for coins from Canada and you were looking for a specific coin, then maybe you'd go for this book. Or this is just a random selection of books, but I can also just click search. Let's see, I'll search United States and see what comes up. So here we go, there's 102 results for United States. And then I could go through here and try to find a book and say this was the one I wanted, Military Tokens of the United States. I'd click on it. It would give me the author, the publication year, the publisher, the language that it's written in, or the languages that you can get it in. And then it will give you information like the OCLC number, which is very helpful for trying to find that book. And then it'll show you all of the coins or tokens or whatever that is mentioned in the book. So you can see there's 106 tokens that are mentioned in this book. Super, super, super helpful resource. So I think I covered everything, at least all the things that I use regularly and I know about on this website. If you know anything else about this website and you'd like to share, please feel free to leave a comment down in the comment section below. I'm learning more and more every day that I use this website. I've used it for a while now and I really, really love it. Seriously, one of my favorite websites and probably one of my most visited websites at this point, and definitely my most used website for coin collecting. Seriously, this website has saved me so much time, and when I do research, this is one of the first places that I go to because it just has so much information and it has very accurate information as well. I hope you guys check out this website. It's super helpful and I hope that you guys can find some use for it. I also use this a lot in my coin roll hunting checklist. I have all of the coins, or at least I'm working on it. I'm not sure if I've finished it yet, but all of the different types of coins I have listed in there for the United States. I have listed their Numista link as well, and so that can lead you to more information. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I know this is a little different. I haven't covered any websites before, but this is just one of the best resources that I've found for coin collecting and getting information on coins and numismatics. And if you love history, there's a lot of cool history stuff on here that you can find too. But anyways, guys, if you like this video, please consider liking and subscribing. I'd like to give a huge shout out and thanks to Numista and its founders and everybody that works there. I really appreciate your website and appreciate you being willing to let me make this video for you. And anyways, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.